What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video. And today it's going to be my weekly movie review roundup, episode 8. So I've only got 3 movies to talk about this week. That's partly due to the Monday holiday, and I had a problem with one of the discs that Netflix sent me. So yeah, only 3 movies this week. So let's get started. So on Wednesday, January 20th, I watched Vacation, the new 2015 Vacation. Of course, the remake of the 1983 National Lampoon's Vacation classic with Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. Ed Helms plays Rusty Griswold, Chevy Chase's son from the original movie. He's married to Christina Applegate, who plays Debbie Griswold. And they have 2 kids, 2 boys. One sort of, yeah, probably a high schooler, 15, 16, and he has a younger brother who's probably like 9 or 10. So yeah, bored. They're kind of bored with their usual family vacation, going to a cabin by some lake, some shitty cabin. Ed Helms decides he's going to change it up by following in his father's footsteps and driving across country from Chicago to California to Wally World, like Chevy Chase does, of course, in the original movie. Yeah, it wasn't very good. I mean, it does have some funny moments. Ed Helms tries his hardest, and Christina Applegate has some good moments. Probably the funniest part of the movie was the younger brother, because he teases and bullies his older brother throughout the movie. I thought he was the best part of this film. They rent a stupid-looking van that's quite ridiculous in its own self. There's a scene where they wind up, they think they're going to some hot springs, and of course they end up bathing in raw sewage. There's another scene where they visit some relatives played by Leslie Mann and Chris Hemsworth. There's some couple good moments there with Chris Hemsworth acting completely ridiculous. And of course there's also an appearance by Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. But they're just sleepwalking through this movie. Chevy Chase, yikes, he does not look like he's having fun. Beverly D'Angelo, I don't even remember her even saying a line of dialogue, to be honest. Yeah, it's a typical sort of slapstick humor. Basic remake of the original Vacation. Doesn't sort of have the charm and wit of that movie. But to be honest, the Vacation movies have never always been that great. I know people love Christmas Vacation, and it's a Christmas classic, but European Vacation is not really a great film, to be honest, but I enjoy that movie as well. And Vegas Vacation is kind of worthless. But yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Vacation, kind of a disappointment, because I like Ed Helms and Christina Applegate. But yeah, just felt like just by the numbers comedy that didn't really offer anything new, except the little boy I thought was funny. So overall, I gave the new Vacation a 6 out of 10. Okay, moving on to yeah, what the hell day? Friday. I watched The Gallows, found footage horror film, directed by Travis Clough and Chris Laughing. Yeah, film set 20 years in a small town high school in the present day, or yeah, well, yeah, the film takes place in like 2013, because 20 years earlier in 1993, tragedy struck during the school play's performance of The Gallows, where a young boy accidentally got hung because, for unexplainable reason, people actually built a real life hangman's gallows during a school play. that would actually work and end up killing somebody, strangling a young boy to death if he fell through the drop and hung by the noose. But this film, yeah, it takes place 20 years later. The school is redoing it in sort of an attempt to honor the 20-year anniversary of that tragedy. And the cast is all played by a bunch of young actors. Their real names, they actually use their first names. Um, the real names of the actors are used in the movie itself. So we have, let's see, Reese Reese Mishler playing Reese. We have Pfeiffer Brown playing Pfeiffer. Ryan uh, Schuss playing Ryan, and Cassidy Guilford playing Cassidy. Ryan is sort of a jokester. He's the one recording the video. He thinks the school play is a joke, and his best friend Reese is in the school play as one of the leads, and Pfeiffer is the other main lead. She's sort of the goody two shoes drama queen, if you like, and Cassidy plays Ryan's girlfriend. Um, so so Reese basically quits the football team to star in this play, and Ryan doesn't think much of it or him for doing that. So he sort of enlists him and his girlfriend Cassidy to one night break into the auditorium where the play is taking place in the school and trash the sets, so they don't have to so he doesn't have to go through with the performance. But of course, all kinds of weird shit starts happening. They get stalked by the apparent ghost of Charlie, the kid who died 20 years earlier during the performance of the school play. Um, yeah, it has its moments. The Gallows. I like the atmosphere and the setting in general. The auditorium, even though it's pretty amazing for a high school to have an auditorium like that. It's a really cool setting for a horror movie, especially with the rafters and backstage and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, some good looking shots during the movie. It's just a good setting for this movie to take place. But we get the usual horror cliches, jump scares, and so on. Yeah, the film is produced by Blumhouse Productions, who also produced Paranormal Activity and Insidious, and it has Paranormal Activity and Insidious written all over this movie. I also didn't care for the ending at all. They should have just ended with the final performance in the bow. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. What happens at the end, but the bit after that, with the cops investigate the house, that was a little bit too much, I thought. Especially what they did with the girl Pfeiffer, and it sort of brought up the question: well, is that Charlie's daughter? Which would kind of be impossible because this happened 20 years ago. She would have to be 20 years old or even older, and she's in high school. So yeah, that sort of doesn't really make sense. But if she's possessed, apparently, by Charlie, but again, we see Charlie at the end of the movie as well, in that same scene. So that part didn't really make sense, and I didn't think it was necessary. Even though it's a pretty short movie, at only an hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, I thought it should have ended with the bow at the end of the, quote, performance. That would have been sort of a perfect, bitter, tragic ending. But yeah, has its moments, The Gallows, and the cast isn't really likable. I didn't really like Ryan's just a dick. Cassidy's kind of hot, so that's alright. And Pfeiffer and Reese, they're kind of annoying. So yeah, Gallows, decent little horror film. Originally I gave it a 5 because I hated the ending so much, but I bumped it up to a 6 after a guy on Facebook, John Paul Rodriguez, gave me shit about it because he loved it. Yeah, so for him, I bumped it up to a 6 because it does have its moments, and I like the setting and parts of it. So that was The Gallows, and last night, Saturday, the 23rd, I watched Ricky and the Flash, directed by Jonathan Demme, and written by Diablo Cody. Of course, starring Meryl Streep as Ricky Randazzo, a aging wannabe rocker, to be fair. She plays in a band that's the house band of a local dive bar in LA. She gets called back to her sort of old home in Indianapolis by her ex-husband, played by oh fuck, what's his name? Kevin Kline, because their daughter has just sort of, her marriage is just broken up and she's really depressed. Not really a very strong reason to, for this movie to sort of exist, but the main real drive of this movie is Meryl Streep and her performance as this rocker doing these covers of great rock songs from the 70s and 80s, and they also mix in versions of modern songs like Bad Romance by Lady Gaga and Let's Get This Party Started by Pink. So yeah, Meryl Streep is the one who I admired the most in this movie. Yeah, the kids. She also has two sons who both seem to hate her as well. One of them's gay, and he's he gets in a relationship later on in the movie. But the other son is getting married, and there's sort of a big question whether or not Ricky is going to be invited to the wedding. And she's broke, and we hear this from her throughout the movie. She says, "I have no money." She says it like 5 or 6 times throughout the movie, so that kind of got annoying. But the end is nice, where her band plays during the wedding, and that's her wedding present to her son. The guitarist in the band, Greg, is played by Rick Springfield, who, of course, in his own right is a well-known musician. So yeah, it's a nice performance by Meryl Streep, and I liked Rick Springfield as well. I thought he was good. Kevin Kline, he's just doing Kevin Kline basically. There's nothing really that special. But the kids, I didn't care for any of the kids in the movie. Well, they're not kids; they're grown adults, but they weren't really likable at all. But I liked the music. I liked her performances of the music. She's not a great singer, Meryl Streep, but she pulls it off. She's not quote a rock star, but she's living her dream to be a musician, and it sort of comes across in her performance. So yeah, it's a likable movie. It's not really very deep, to be honest, which is kind of a surprise for a Meryl Streep film. But it's a good performance by her. As always, Meryl Streep could read the phone book and most people would eat it up. So yeah, I liked it. Just didn't love it. Ricky and the Flash, I gave a 7 out of 10. This is also the movie that I was gonna watch it like the night after Vacation. I watched Vacation, but the disc that Netflix sent me had a huge crack in it, just like from the center to the edge, just a big long crack. So obviously, it wouldn't play in my Blu-ray player. Actually, I'm playing them in my PS3 at the moment. Anyways, so those are the 3 movies this week. A short week, even though I've probably gone on for like 15 minutes again. These videos have been like over 20 minutes. Ridiculous. But thank you for watching anyways, and until next time, I'll see you.
Bond. James Bond.